Okay, Scotland-Wales in the Six Nations at Murrayfield. It's finished 35 points to 29 to Scotland, which suggests the game was actually closer than the scoreline suggests. But in reality, the game was won at half-time. Scotland, however, in the second half, lost a bit of their energy and focus. Their game management goes a little bit. And Wales make the scoreline look respectable. But for the first 60 or so minutes, Wales were not in this game. The timing of the substitutions had an impact on the scoreline at the end and Scotland's second half performance. Also, the fact that the game was so one sided at half time, I think, has impacted the second half performance by Scotland. They just took their foot off the pedal and they could have embarrassed themselves. But Wales had too much to do. There was a bit more fight about this Welsh side than in previous weeks. You can see some positive green shoots of growth there, but they left themselves too much to do. There's a yellow card in there which hasn't helped, and some really poor decision making, especially for Scotland's fourth try. That's a comedy of errors, and that's showing a very inexperienced, unconfident team. A confident team would have cleared that. So we'll talk about that, all the tries in due course. But it's Wales who take the lead after just 3 minutes. A simple, sloppy penalty off a line out by Scotland. Easy 3 points for Wales. Nice little settler for Wales. Anscombe slots the penalty on 3 minutes. However, that is the only time Wales would lead this game. The first half, really, Scotland race out to a 28-8 lead by half-time. Blair Kinghorn starts the try-scoring early, but it's Darcy Graham's movement and runs and interplay. But in reality, it's a team try. Multiple phases. We're talking 14, 15 phases. But Darcy Graham is key in these phases. Blair Kinghorn, he carries 3 players over the line with him. He's a big body. Outside backs now generally, apart from players like Darcy Graham, are big bodies. He's 6'4", 6'5". I mean, he's a big man. He carries 3 players over the line with him. That's on 6 minutes, but that's a team try, and that's a good reward for the teamwork there. And Finn Russell has his kicking boots on. He converts that try. Tom Jordan, very similar. Again, this time it's Van der Merwe creating havoc with his run. And again, it's very, very similar in the way that the try is created. Great interplay, quick ruck speed, forwards and backs taking carries, good runs off the ball, good support runners. And Tom Jordan gets his first try in 11 minutes and Russell converts. And you're thinking Scotland could run away, 40, 50, 60 points with this. This could be a record-breaking score. But Wales stick in there. And while there's a TMO check for a potential eye gouge by Ben Thomas on Van der Merwe on 18 minutes, I think that delay in play and Wales getting a little bit of possession down the other end for a few minutes, I think builds some confidence. The TMO check for the eye gouge, I mean, it's an interesting one. It's a handoff that I think potentially has gone wrong. He's not actively looking at Van der Merwe in the sense he's facing his head away, he's pushing the hand, forcing Van der Merwe's body and head away from him. He's facing away. He's trying to hand off the player to then obviously have space to offload potentially or protect the ball. Is there a gouging motion? It's cleared by the on-field officials and the TMO, but debates out there. Leave that in the comments section below. Blair Murray's try does come eventually, and Wales are back in the game briefly. Anscombe, that's a good read of where the defenders are at. Van der Merwe is in no man's land. You've got the fullback is tied up on the other side of the field. Van der Merwe is trying to cover that like a hybrid fullback position, covering for the kick in behind, or rush into the line and number up. He does neither. And it's a kick over in behind, and Blair Murray scores his try on 24 minutes to give Wales a little bit of momentum and a little bit of confidence, but it doesn't last because Darcy Graham scores his try 3 minutes later. And it's the timing of the pass by Finn Russell, but again, very similar to their first 2 tries. It's the interplay between backs, forwards, quick ruck speed. Territory as well is Wales are on the back foot. Nearly 70% territory in possession for Scotland, really. A lot of the game was played in Wales's half of the field, but it's our final pass. It's the final pass, but there's great interplay to build to that final pass, and Darcy Graham has timed his run perfectly. And Finn Russell occasionally gets those passes wrong. It's an intercept. He's been guilty of that in the past, but I think he's developing his game now. And Darcy Graham, possibly the smallest player out there. He's played brilliantly today. He's helped create tries for Blair Kinghorn. He's been devastating with his runs in open play, and he's rewarded with his try in 27 minutes. 3 minutes later, the most stupid piece of play by Will Griff-John, Welsh prop. I don't know what he's thinking there, but that's a cynical kick of the ball out of the scrum half's hands, gets a yellow card, and that puts further pressure onto a struggling Wales side that they haven't won for so long. It's a play done by a team lacking confidence. It's a really stupid play, deservedly yellow. He couldn't be more obvious if he tried. And then Tom Jordan gets his second try, literally within this yellow card period on 33 minutes. I don't know how Wales are trying to clear their lines. Yes, they get a turnover from the line out, from the penalty line out. It doesn't work in Scotland's favour. Wales get the ball back. Ben Thomas has tried a little chip crossfield kick. Now, unfortunately, Blair Murray, he's not going to keep that in, so he flings the ball back into play. And Ben Thomas then just knocks it on, fumbles it, and then Tom Jordan just kicks it through and scores the try. Comedy of errors by Wales, again, a sign of a very nervy, young, inexperienced side lacking confidence. And that's the bonus point for Scotland. That's the game done. It's 28-8. They're a man up. I just can't explain the Will Griff-John yellow and then the comedy of errors for Tom Jordan's second try, but that is game done. Second half, very similar to the first. Scotland on the front foot. Wales can't get much ball. Blair Kinghorn gets his second try in 48 minutes. And again, it's great play between backs and forwards. Great line running. Ruck speed being quick. Recycling of the ball being quick. Good support play. All these tries, apart from Tom Jordan's second try, are all basically team tries. There's great pressure building and phases, and everything's done quickly. So Blair Kinghorn, gets his try. Russell's not missed a kick on goal, unlike the previous match against England, which proved costly. They're 35-8 up. They're cruising. And then, the substitutions, the game is won, the intensity level drops, and it becomes a scrappy game for a bit. It becomes a scrappy game. And then Ben Thomas gets his try in 61 minutes, and Jared Evans, who's now replaced Anscombe, converts. Teddy Williams gets a try on 68 minutes. Now, the Faletau no try, and this is where Wales have just swung things back into, back their way. I think they've left it too little too late, but the Faletau disallowed try for Blair Murray jumping out of a tackle. That is a rare thing to see. It's a rare thing to see that a player's pinged for that. It's not often that you see that. Blair Murray, it's a great run, but he does, jump out the tackle, and you're not going to do that. I know in rugby league and in NFL and other footballing codes you can. Rugby union you can't. And it's so rarely seen that I don't think, many of these players would have ever been penalised for that. And the try's disallowed, and could there be a law change there? Because it's so... I doubt it. I understand why the law change is there, because it's an unfair advantage to the attacking side, especially when the player's going in for the tackle and you jump out of it. I don't think any players on the pitch would have actually been penalised in their careers for that. It is so rare to see that. I have not seen a penalty for jumping out of a tackle since I was at school, so that's a good 20 plus years ago. I think I was 13 or 14 the last time I saw a player penalised for jumping out of a tackle. So we're talking over 20, 22, 23 years, in my life, and that was during a school match that I was playing in. So it's been that long. I've not seen it at an international level before. That's a rare one and an interesting one. So for those who weren't aware of that, that is a rule. But Max Llewellyn gets his trial at full time. I don't know what either side are doing. Scotland are trying to just go for points here. Just kick the ball out. You've won the game. Don't allow Wales to get a try bonus point, a losing bonus point. Wales want that to avoid potentially the wooden spoon. However, in reality, Italy could do something in the next two games. They could get a losing bonus point, a try bonus point, whatever. So therefore the head to head comes down to Italy Wales head to head. Wales haven't won a game. Italy have by beating Wales, but they want the bonus points for 4 tries and a losing bonus point. They get that with Max Llewellyn's try and Evans converting. Scotland were in control after 48 minutes, after 5 tries, and then I think Gregor Townsend, you could criticise the timing of the substitutions. I think they took Finn Russell off too soon. They thought they had it completely put to bed. Wales showed a lot of fight in that second half, and you can see the green shoots with Wales. You could, but at the same time, that first half performance was just they were lambs to the slaughter. You could clearly see, especially with that Scotland's 4th try, that this Welsh side are just not on the same level. Scotland just became disjointed. They lost some momentum in the second half. The atmosphere went flat, and I think the timing of the substitutions, especially bringing off Finn Russell, I think disjointed Scotland's play. I think they should have kept Finn Russell on for another 10-15 minutes maybe. Wales hung in there. There were 2 attempts to get over the line by Scotland that Wales held up, so they showed a bit more defensive resilience in the second half. And there are some green shoots there, but this is going to be a long recovery because Matt Sherratt starts his new job with Cardiff next season, and they are going to have to look for a permanent replacement of Warren Gatland. So these 3 games with Matt Sherratt are going to be brief and fleeting. In the 2 games so far, there has been improvement. There's been a bit more positivity around the Welsh setup, but that first half is going to knock their confidence. That second half might build some confidence, but that first half performance shows there's so much work for this Welsh setup to do. Scotland will be disappointed with their second half, and I think going into the final Super Saturday round next week, look for a response. Scotland are Jekyll and Hyde from game to game at times, and sometimes within the same game, because they were 35-8 up, and they, in years past, let's say when this was the old Wales, they've blown that. Because this current Welsh side is that lacking in confidence, that inexperienced, and on this lengthy losing streak, Scotland get away with it in the end. But 5 years ago, let's say, Wales win that game with how Scotland played in that second half, especially the last 20 minutes. Really poor from Scotland, poor game management. They lose that intensity, lose that focus, and that's still that Jekyll and Hyde aspect for Scotland. But there we go, that's Scotland 35, Wales 29. Very entertaining game as a neutral. There were some great tries scored, and that disallowed try for jumping out of a tackle, you will rarely see that. You might see that once a decade, once every 2 decades. I've only seen it once before in my lifetime, and that was in a game that I was playing at school. So there you go. Thank you very much for watching. Place your thoughts on the game in the comment section below. But from me for now, it is goodbye, and I'll have some more content for you guys and girls very, very soon.